Let's go. I'm ready. We're back.
We must walk.
Well, yes, I imagine.
So much ice. It rivals even Yogg-Tural. Ooh, a white bear. I wonder what it tastes like.
Remember, we're here to deal with creatures that have been deemed an unacceptable danger. Do not attack anything else unprovoked.
I know. So this is the isle where ether literally bursts forth.
Aye, the Isle of Ham. The geysers lie deep inland, however.
You really are knowledgeable. Kona told me nothing about this place.
I doubt your brother managed to come out this way. He's like to have toured facilities like Labyrinthos, however.
The great big cavern under the city. It's amazing that they could make a sky down there complete with a sun.
God, don't ask me.
This brother of yours, he has been to Sharlayan.
He has. Kona's my second older brother, and until recently he was a student in this city. He went on and on about technological amusements. It made me want to come here too one day. And so I did. I think I understood something of how he felt when I set foot in his beloved studium.
He went to the studio? Your brother must be quite a scholar. But I wonder, like you, he'd be royalty, yes? And such a personage coming to Sharlayan to receive an education would surely have caused a stir, yet I recall nothing of the sort.
He consulted with the head of the studium beforehand, that his identity might remain secret. Being Mikote, he had no trouble blending in. He's adopted like me, you see.
Oh.
One time, though, he almost let it slip to a professor. It was all he could do to parry the barrage of questions.
Having no shortage of questions myself, I can imagine.
Ask whatever you like. I don't mind. But I maintain, hunting together is the best way to get to know someone.
The researchers should be up ahead. Let's find them and learn what we can.
Man, I'm ready to go, but they're like, nah, you gotta go through this. What you running off to? Oh.
Powerful wings and razor-sharp talons. Worthy prey.
Oh, toucan!
Ah! What is that thing?
What is that thing? What is that thing?
It speaks?
It's heading towards the falls.
I'll stay with the researchers. The creature, I leave to you.
Come, Waklamat.
Right.
We're all ahead. We look at the mats behind and we're like, nope, we got this. Look at that. The directing is so good in the camera angles and everything. You can tell it's improved so much.
Just so we're clear, I wasn't startled by the beast earlier. It caught me by surprise, that's all.
Forgive me, but I failed to see a difference.
I'm getting hungry. Let's be done with this so we can eat.
Caught me by surprise! Caught me by surprise!
Get trolled.
Think you're clever, huh? I'll rip off that beak and roast you on a spit! Talk all you like, bird. I'm going to have the last laugh. Oh, I'm going to enjoy sinking my teeth into you. Shut up already, you blasted bird!
Look out! I've never seen such an enormous colibri.
Big bird.
Not good. Quickly, gather together. I've got you.
I just wanted to use rescue. Just wanted to use rescue. Excuses.
Spread out, everyone!
Who paid for that?
Oh, okay. Gah!
Thank you.
Yeesh.
Nothing to it. They have you now, you love bastard!
Dang, Kalibi. Messed up.
For everything you have at it. And I had barely limbered up.
It was a terrible foe, but no match for your axe.
Only to be expected.
Tozen?
You were pretty impressive yourselves. I was right to invite you on a hunt. But what a curious bird that was. Though we have similar in Tural, they don't grow so big or use such dirty tricks.
Dirty tricks? Dirty tricks?
Aye, dirty and despicable. Otherwise, I could have easily...
Leave this to me.
Yes! Let's go!
How about you?
Woo! Come on!
Cryle!
Yeah, she can fight! Let's go. Look at that.
I am terribly, terribly sorry to have kept you all waiting.
She arrived as I was seeing the researchers to safety. It was all I could do to keep up with her after I explained what happened.
So this is what you meant by seeing to preparations?
After hearing of the contest, I thought how wonderful it would be to join you.
Finally, 10 years later, freaking...
In coming here, I wanted to demonstrate my skill at arms to Wuklamut. Alas, it seems I missed most of the action.
That was amazing! The piece didn't stand a chance!
I'm glad to have been of service.
May I ask what inspired this change?
You will recall the time you descended to the ethereal sea in search of Heidelin. Recognizing that my skills were... inadequate, I chose to provide support from afar, rather than join you. It was the same when you set forth for Ultima Thule. How it pained me to stay behind, again and again. That's what inspired this change. Ever since the final days were averted, I've used every spare moment to hone my craft. As you all have adapted your methods to suit the circumstances, I started by considering how I might best contribute. And after much deliberation, I arrived at my answer.
Ooh!
With the esoteric art passed down by the legendary Archon realm, Pictomancy. As I recall, You have embraced versatility to effectively complement a certain someone's style. What I do is much the same. Like you, I don't want to be left behind.
Indeed. I must say, you appear to be especially keen on being involved in the ritual of succession. Is there any particular reason?
Yes, there is. This letter from Tuli Yolal. It was addressed to my grandfather Galuf, and turned up among the students' archives. The ink was faded, so I couldn't fully make out the sender's name. Galul, someone.
Jaja. Gulul Jaja. That's my father, the Dawn servant. What does the letter say?
While much of it isn't legible, it appears to be a request to investigate the Golden City.
A request to investigate the Golden City? From the Dawn servant himself?
Well, well. Seems it may be more than a rumor after all.
Being a member of the royal family, it was my hope that you could confirm the authenticity of this letter.
I can say for a fact that my father didn't write this. Given how culturally diverse Tuli Yolal is, it was decided some time ago that a common language was needed. But instead of elevating an existing tongue and its speakers above all others, we looked to those widely spoken overseas and created an altogether new one. The similarities to your common tongue also make it quite easy to communicate in these situations, no? This letter, however, is entirely in Eorzean. If father had written this, he would have been in Turali. And what's more, it bears a wax seal. We don't bother with them.
So the letter is fraudulent, then?
Oh, I didn't mean to say that. My father's signature is genuine, as far as I can tell, so perhaps he simply dictated it.
I see. Oh, thank you for the confirmation. It seems my grandfather indeed had dealings with Tuli Yolal. I can't help but be curious as to what exactly he was doing there. In order to help us decide on a course of action, would you mind if I asked you some questions about your home?
By all means. After all, learning about one another was the purpose of this hunt. We can talk while feasting on this fellow. I, for one, am starving.
We're eating that.
Graha, don't eat me! Graha, don't eat me! That's the thing. If he could talk.
Come, come. Let's enjoy the bounty of our first outing together. I'd heard that Charlayan cuisine was terrible, but this is fantastic.
What is this? Oh, it smells spicy.
Okay, now, since
Right?
when did you become so
He doesn't want to
soft?
eat anything spicy.
It's
I'm
not
with
like
him
we
now.
don't have spicy food in Tural too.
Oh, goodness.
According to Dickon, intensely hot dishes have become popular in Razadhan after a traveller ordered a curry with several times the usual amount of spice.
Oh, no!
So he started offering the same in order to please the growing Harnish population here in Charlian.
Oh my gosh, that was my fault. I'm sorry.
It's nothing. I can't handle.
Your boorish manners reflect poorly on the both of us. I wish you would consider your station.
I swear, sometimes it feels like you open your mouth only to criticize.
Would I be correct in assuming you've known each other for a long time?
Aye, thick as thieves since we were little.
I beg to differ. She is a long-standing acquaintance. Nothing more.
It was like awkward.
I see. I see.
All this time you were from Tural. Oh, would that I had known sooner. There's so much I'd like to ask.
You and everyone else. I've kept it quiet so as to avoid the endless interrogations.
Well, if he's going to be a miser, I'll be happy to tell you about our homeland instead. Since ancient times, many peoples have called Tural home, and they've been fighting each other for nearly as long. The fighting finally stopped some 80 years ago, when the reigning Dawn Servant unified the disparate communities and founded a new nation.
And that's how Tuliolal came to be.
Since then, we've enjoyed an era of uninterrupted peace. But my father is getting old, and he wishes to relinquish the throne to a worthy successor. One who can preserve his legacy. Including myself, there are 4 claimants to the throne. But while we all have the right to participate, one among us cannot be allowed to rule.
A man who is too ambitious by half. Word of the Garlean Empire's collapse has reached Tural. While most are simply relieved, he sees weakness to exploit and would lead our armies across the seas on a campaign of conquest.
After everything my father has done to give us peace, he would drag us back into war. I can't allow it. No matter what, I must win this contest.
I understand your reasons. But this being an event that will dictate the course of your nation's future, is it appropriate for outsiders like us to be involved?
Oh, it's more than appropriate. The Dawn Servant himself expressly encourages it. The ruler of Tural must navigate the intricacies of myriad cultures, and there's no better way to prove oneself qualified to do so than to work with foreign allies. That's why I sought you out. Through our hunt, I've confirmed that you're a warrior of considerable skill, but more importantly, one of good character as well. And so I ask you, will you lend me your strength and help me win the throne of Tulihualal? You don't need to decide right this moment. But I will need you if I'm to triumph over the competition. I'll stay here as long as I can while waiting for your answer.
In that case, allow us to prepare a room for you at the Baldessian Annex.
That's very kind of you. Oh, and one more thing. Once we finish eating, would you mind if I took the rest of the meat?
Sure, why not? Why not? Hey, Graha.
It's just... Despite all that we've learned, I can't help but feel we've yet to hear the whole story.
About Trial,
What
or...
about you, my friend? Are you inclined to accept or refuse Wurklamat's request?
I'm still undecided, to be honest.
I don't blame you. No matter the assurances, it's no simple thing to wade into the midst of a political struggle, and in a foreign land at that.
Before we've had...
How about this then? Instead of deciding here, go there first and then decide.
The thing is like, we've always had a reason to interfere, right? Like, some sort of event has always pushed us to intervene in something. This is probably the first time where you've been asked to do something, but we haven't had a reason to, other than to say yes or no. Right? Like, there wasn't a purpose.
In the course of seeing new lands and meeting new people, you'll surely find a way forward. That's what adventurers do, is it not? Such a journey would be the envy of many a scholar. Distant as it is, Tural remains largely unknown to us, with only meager records to be found in Numenon. The experiences to be had, all the things you might hear, feel, and think.
Heidelin, please.
It's enough to stir me to the core.
Heidelin, Tia.
Life is a series of journeys, my friend, and there's no telling what awaits us on the long road. But what's important is to be true to yourself as you walk it.
Like, I get him, I'm following him, but I feel like, I don't know. I think it's a bad idea because we're gonna get it all wrapped up into it, but like, it's not like we have a choice, right? The expansion is out. We don't have a real choice.
Only then can we hope to be content when we arrive at the end of one and step forward into another.
Okay, I get it. This is acceptable to end
there's an
Endwalker.
idea. I have a matter to attend to at the Agora. Please, go on inside. I will join you shortly.
That's what I felt, right? I felt that way. The nervousness of ending Endwalker and starting a whole new entire journey.
You have the look of someone who's made up their mind. Go on then. Let's hear it.
I was boldly to go where I've never gone before. Because I've never gone, you know, so...
Then you need me as much as I need you. Together we'll blaze new trails in Tural.
You're not planning to leave without us, are you?
Hehe. The twins.
Alphino, Alize, what are you two doing here?
We happened to cross paths at Numenon earlier, you see, and I told them about Wurklamat. And when we fortuitously met again at the Agora just now, they expressed an interest in meeting our visitor.
Ah, you must be the twins who were sneaking after Erenville's toads.
100 things about us you could have told her, and you chose that.
Damn. Rest
First
in...
impressions last.
Oh, rested back. Pouting face. Oh gosh.
'Tis an honor and a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Your Highness. Alphino Leveilleur at your service, and this is my sister Alize.
Oh no, let's not do that. I really can't stand
He's like,
this. So, you want to participate in the contest too, is that right?
Indeed we do. We've been assisting with the rebuilding effort in Garlemald. Yet while progress is being made, the question remains of how the nation might reconcile with its neighbors.
I like the camera angle in this. I wanted to scoot over a little bit more. There you go.
We believe there is much we might learn from Tuliolal, a nation founded on unity. And in return for this honor, we would spare no effort in supporting your claim.
The more the merrier, I say. And I'd be keen to learn about Eorzea and Garlemald from you as well.
Having recruited so many committed and capable allies, I presume you have no need for my continued assistance?
Nonsense! Like I told you before, you're indispensable. They're strong, aye, but strangers to our land. They need someone to guide them, to point out the dangers, and spare them grisly deaths. I can't think of anyone better suited to that task than you. What's more, despite your assertions, I know you haven't given up on the City of Gold.
As I recall, Kryl, you were the first to state your desire to visit Tural.
Perhaps I was. Still, I can't help but worry about being away just when our order is beginning to find its feet again.
You have nothing to worry about. I haven't forgotten how you held the fort while I set off to explore Alzadal's legacy. It's only fair that I return the favor. Pray, leave the students to Ojika and me.
But, Raha...
You got that? He's like, go. You got it?
You want to retrace your grandfather's steps, don't you? This is a rare opportunity, and I insist that you seize it.
Thank you, Raha. Thank you.
Well, looks like it's settled. I'm counting on you all to help me win the throne.
But like everybody's going with this, right? Or no, it's not everybody coming with us.
I suppose now is a good time to show you what I spent a small fortune on at the Agora. There. This, my friends, is the latest map of the world, created to celebrate our friendship with the Loporrits. Cast your eyes west of Sharian, for there it lies. The site of your next great adventure, Tural.
Oh my gosh, it's so crazy! The world map, I forgot about it. Dunwalker! We have just enough time to go go into Dawntrail finally. Oh man. Thank goodness I made it on release day, because I was gonna be upset. Look at that Kyle art! I'm gonna have to find all these renders, aren't I? Carolina! Anyway. Oh, and screenshots of all the artwork is why. It's so good. The goat! In Lipsa, Telsi swallows all.
When does
Of
the next
course.
ship set sail? May I ask your destination?
He's not even have a destination.
The north and east, I've already seen.
Of course,
I
that's so
suppose I'll
funny.
head west this time. West, you say?
That's so funny.
I see you've made up your mind. I had a feeling you'd be keen.
But to think that our comrades too are thither bound. Fate doth work in mysterious ways.
Indeed. It will be a grueling task, having to contend with them.
Ah, they're gonna face us. Dang.
If the prospect doth trouble thee, 'tis not too late to decline the petition. Though thine expression would suggest thou art far from perturbed.
Dang.
Oh, how could I possibly be, knowing what's to come?
Then let us delay no further and secure passage on a vessel.
Aye. This will be a mission to remember. Come, my friend. We make for Tural.
Tell me, have you been to the ruins beneath the waters of the Bounty? Or the treasure islands beyond the frozen waters of Blind Frost in Offerd's north? The fabled golden cities of the New World?
Let's go, there's no time to waste! Ah! Let's go! Mend me! I'm so excited! Excited! Let's go!
Savoring the moment? I can feel your excitement, your eagerness to explore the unknown.
Good, because I'm exuding it.
Well, for once, the fate of the world doesn't rest on our shoulders.
Right?
We might even get a chance to enjoy ourselves.
Do not be so quick to relax. Oh, Tural may seem but a short sail away on a map. The vast seas between brim with peril. The treacherous waters of Shade's Triangle alone have claimed countless vessels. Even following the safe route plotted by Admiral Bootheswin herself, this will be no pleasure cruise.
Perhaps, but my voyage here was uneventful enough, disappointing me so.
You didn't have
Either way,
us in
the two
tow.
of you have first-hand experience, which will be of great comfort in the days ahead, I'm sure.
Aye, it's nothing new to us.
All aboard! We're casting off!
It's time.
I trust you have everything you need?
And so does our ship cast off from the docks. We sail west, as Cattenram did some 80 years past, bound for the New World, known
Best
to our
mom.
children as the continent of Toral.
Just wait, Papa. When this contest is said and done, it'll be your daughter who sits the throne. Me! Watte!
Let's go, world map! Man.
Smooth sailing so far?
Aye, so far so good. But this sea, she's a fickle one. Calm one moment, blowing a gale the next.
I'll take my rest while I can then.
Yeah, Team Lalafell.
We left port what seems an age ago now, and we've seen naught but open water ahead. I knew Toral was far, but it's another thing to really know. Speaking of which, some of our fellow passengers have made this trip before. Several times, in fact. I was able to learn a few things about Tuliolal and the right of succession. Since we still have a long way to go, why not have a chat with them yourself? I'm sure you have questions of your own. Did you look out across these same waters, Grandfather?
It's so nice to have Cryo. It's so nice to have Cryo with us. Finally. Take a picture. Alice, hey, I have a knapsack on. Do you want to spar? Well, look, okay. No, thank you. First visit to Toral. Oh my gosh, I'm not gonna be able to pronounce that. He lost his job and visits Charlie in hopes of starting over while he's attempting and failing to find a new job. He sees a chance to board this vessel and overheard room for another passenger suddenly opened up. So Dawn service welcome regardless of origin. Huh. I've seen you years ago before. You're a great and famous hero. I've had enough of playing simpleton. It's time when I took many planes to maintain deception. But with more of the origins coming to Tyrell, it's becoming impractical. Okay, well, you know. Adventurer, presume a merchant myself, based in Udall, imports, exports, A's and Charlie both. Crossing sea salt, remember social moors of areas same over yonder. Cote. Oh, okay. Wow, that's okay. Interesting. They go by different clan names. Oh, is there something down here? Oh, this goes to the empty. What? Oh my gosh. Why would they like you're all of a sudden you're back, you've left, but you can just go right back immediately after. We forgot to pack something, guys. Turn it around. Oh my goodness. Cryo, we forgot. My popotos. Yeah, I learned you could teleport back in an instant. We really didn't even travel this far.
We're in for a proper storm, it seems.
Oh goodness. Not in the cabin.
How's your stomach? Any better?
I don't know what you mean. I don't get seasick. I'm just feeling a little nauseous is all.
Isn't that what seasickness is?
I don't question it, Alice. Just go with it.
Erenville, you were born in Tyrell, yes? Do many Viera live there?
The Shatona, as my people are called, have settlements mainly in the north, in Shaktural.
And your family?
I know nothing of my father, not even his name. As for my mother...
Oh, whoa.
Oh dear.
Only those on watch! This wind's too strong to take any I'm falling off the mast! We need help! Get him below decks first! Quickly! Before he's washed overboard!
Oh boy.
We should lend what aid we can.
I have not seen the ocean rage with such fury before or since. The heaving waves tossed our ship about like a toy, sending sailors tumbling. The dauntless Alizé, quick to the rescue, was almost lost to the sea herself.
Woo!
Meanwhile, our champion rushed to deploy the vessel's magical defenses, and thereby shield us from the lightning. What an extraordinary life she must lead to be able to operate such a device with practiced ease. Woklama, too, threw herself into the rescue efforts, though one might have mistaken her for another soul in distress. By the time the unruly seas had calmed, our strength was all but spent, and we had yet to even glimpse the shores of Tural. In retrospect, of course, that battle against the storm would prove a fitting prelude to the coming contest for the throne.
Oof. Land, right? God, the lighting is so good. They fixed. I'm sorry, but the presentation is going to be so good, I imagine, than it's ever been.
Morning. Joining us for some fresh air? Seems my belly has settled along with the weather, but I'll feel much better once we're on solid ground. Ugh. Can't be much farther now, can it?
I thought you made the journey before. Oh my gosh, this is my favorite.
Land must be near. You need only hold out a while longer.
For a dark moment, I thought the ocean might swallow us. Glad to have my pessimism proven wrong.
In other good news, I examined the sailor who took a fall, and he's faring well. I'm sure he'll make a full recovery.
Good news indeed.
There was one hanging on the sails above, and I thought he got, like, caught on his neck, but he was holding on to it. That was the guy who fell off that they were trying to keep him from going overboard.
Some way from shore. Too close, and they risk having their underbellies ripped open by the reefs that crowd Tuliola's coasts. Come.
Thanks for bringing us all this way.
Ha! We only did what we were paid to do. Couldn't hardly set you adrift halfway. If anything, it should be us thanking you for helping us through that beast of a storm. As a matter of fact, everyone's starting to fancy your chances in the contest. At this rate, we won't be able to lay wagers no more.
Then I better not let you down. Easy, stomach. Easy.
We're the last to board. If there's nothing left to say, then let's shove off, shall we?
Blue seas, clear skies, and boundless possibilities. I dare say our destination will soon be in sight.
Nice.
Enjoying yourself for a change?
There, look, my friends. Behold the scene of our next great adventure.
Oh.
Last, we have come to the land you call the New World. To my home, Tural.
Yeah. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Ah. Goblins! Oh, look, the Tobly people! Oh my gosh, I don't think it's 10-2. Tobly. Where's the Hypello? Mishuna! Mishuna, yes? Ah.
Gods, I've seen cities with an impressive mix of cultures, but this is something else.
Is that a... No. I've never seen Varnu feathers in that color before.
You'll find much here you never knew existed. There may be a sea route now, but visitors to Tulihyolal are still few and far between. And as we don't build seafaring ships, only a handful of Turali ever venture abroad.
Mamulja sellswords mostly. Those willing to play the fool sail with Lominsan merchants to secure employment in Eorzea.
I suppose that makes us a rare sight in your country.
Rare and currently undocumented. Were there some forms we should fill out or...
Forms? Did you forget who you're traveling with?
Like, hello, royalty.
You are outsiders? Visitors to Tural?
We are.
Our nation is soon to hold a right of succession to choose its next dawn servant. We will not abide interference from foreign agents seeking to foment trouble. What brings you to Tulihyolal?
I can answer that. These fine people are allies in my succession bid.
Third promise. If you vouch for them, then all is well. Of course.
Please, accept our apologies.
No need to bow and scrape. That our soldiers are so diligent in their duties fills me with pride.
We'll be continuing our patrol then.
Hot damn, the saxophone!
Well,
Baby.
you are a figure of authority here.
Are you suggesting I don't look the part? Anyway, first things first. I bid you welcome to Tulicholal.
Nice! Oh gosh. Ah, there's so many people! Cryo, I can't see you. Let us continue. No, don't give us the old soundtrack. We're in a new location.
My companions must sample your heavenly tacos. One for each of us, please.
Right away, promise. And I'll pack them tight with my choicest feelings. Only the best for you and your friends.
Man, Graha. Missing out.
Did you hear the Silver Scares are back? Seems their overseas foray ended in disaster. More than half their warband is missing, including their leader.
Aye. And now keen to rebuild their broken reputations, the survivors seek the Golden City. A fool's errand. How many hopefuls have disappeared in search of that fable? They should count their lucky stars they came home alive at all.
The legend of the Golden City is well known here, I take it.
It is, but as no one's ever seen it, many question if there is any truth to the tale. Like our skeptical Erinville.
I can't imagine the Dawn Servant would request a formal survey for a place that doesn't exist.
Now to find a spot with a pleasant view to enjoy our crunchy spoils. Oh.
No, tacos.
Oh.
Rude. Oh.
If it isn't the third promise.
Oh, no.
Get his ankles, Cryo. I've got the other one. You take the left, I'll take the right.
I don't know these ones.
You got it. You owe us tacos, sir.
Dredge from foreign waters is my guess, brother.
Of course, that's it. Wuklamat is so afraid of the coming contest that she went crying for special help.
Was there something you wanted, Bakul Jaja?
The third promise remembers us. Such an honor.
Annoying.
Glory on your name, brother. And on yours, brother.
I know my rivals for the throne. Nothing more.
Another child of the Dawn Servant?
No, this brute.
We have no ties to their farce of a family. Unlike the sneevling housecut, we are blessed siblings.
Yeah, blessed, sure.
Chosen. We alone are fit to succeed Golul Jaja as Dawn's servant.
All peoples are equal in Tulihiolan. Your heritage gives you no greater claim to the throne.
Or our tacos. Replace our tacos.
Shall we test that idea here and now?
Sure, why not?
See if
I'll
your
beat him up.
strength is equal to ours.
Yeah, sure. I'll beat him up.
None of this has any bearing on the right of succession, correct? Best not waste your energies on pointless scuffles.
The kitten comes to the house cat's defense.
She will blot your eyes out with paint, sir.
Since when was our nation overrun by mewling weaklings?
Cat tribe for the win. Don't even.
Listen to me, you.
Cryo's like such a boss, right? Like she's like knows how to keep her composure. Damn, Cryo.
A two-headed mamulja. I knew of them, but that's the first I've seen in the flesh.
Some get it into their twin heads that they're destined to follow in my father's footsteps. So they travel to distant lands to hone their battlecraft. Those are likely the ones you've heard about.
Are there other two-headed claimants?
No, just Bakul Jaja. Even in Tural, his kind are far from common. The Mamulja people largely belong to one of three clans. The Hubigo,
Taco.
the Bunewa, and the Dopro. Every once in the Great While, a two-headed offspring is born from a union between the brown-scaled Hubigo and the blue-scaled Bunewa. The child grows to possess immense strength, both physical and magical.
Blessed siblings indeed.
Forget them. Let's go and buy more tacos. I can think of nothing better to rid me of this bad taste in my mouth.
No, they should have replaced your tacos, bro. I feel robbed.
Enjoying your tour of the city, I trust. We've seen our share of notable sights and took a moment to rest.
I got my tacos crushed, bro.
As such, we're ready to present ourselves at the palace for the rite of succession. Shall we meet you there?
The palace it is. I'll let Wuklamart know. Destiny calls. Perhaps we can return for more tacos later?
So it goes.
I'm hungry now, guys. I'm not a pack mule. I'm not like they're gonna make me fight, and I haven't even eaten. You know, like don't make poor Lexus fight, and she hasn't eaten. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Yeah, see, like my poor empty belly. Thank you, Wuklamat. I agree. But them's the breaks. There's can we buy from these places yet? Oh, we can. Oh yeah, because the X potion and stuff, right? Don't really need any mending or anything. Estinian! So funny.
Estinian?
here?
What's the point? Why is he here?
Oh, you know this man? Whenever my father spots a promising opponent, he invites them to Sunperch to duel. Pressing duties or no, he can't resist a good fight.
So the one Estinian is crossing blades with.
That will do, Spearman. I will receive my darling daughter. Know that you are the strongest I fought in many a moon, if not longer.
I'd be like, he's weak compared to me.
Live to face such a formidable soul.
If it's formidable you want, then look no further than that woman there.
I see you, warrior.
Meh, no, we're okay. I don't want to fight. I am hungry. Give me a tacos. City and go get us tacos.
We had no idea you meant to visit Taral.
I've seen what lies east. This time I chose west.
And thus did our itinerant dragoon make his travel plans.
Right? Well, you know what? He did that, he did.
You witnessed our bout. If you thought he was fearsome, that was with one head dozing.
I'm not sure I understand.
The old man has been feeling his years. The uncovered side is the head of resolve, and age has only deepened his love for combat.
Oh, because they're siblings, right?
But the head of reason, wiser of the two, sleeps more and more these days. As I understand it, the veil helps with the restoration of his magical energies.
Enough about me, Lamati. I want to hear of your adventures.
Lamachi.
A term of endearment. It's what my family calls me.
When last did we see you in the palace? Greetings, Solonesh.
It's Erenville now, Dawn Servant. I took the name while abroad, and have since grown accustomed to it.
Erenville, then. And these others? I assume are Lamati's recruited allies.
I changed my outfit for you.
Ha! Old-tempered steel. Yet as much as I'd enjoy testing their metal, the hour of the right is at hand. I will summon the other claimants at once.
Then I shall leave you to it. Good fortune, my friends.
Liar! I'll make sure to bop you good, Dragoon. You'll be the best floor tank there is.
The claimants are assembled. The first promise, Zorolja. The second promise, Gona. The third promise, Uklamat. And lastly, the chosen of Mamuk, Bakun Chacha.
Boo!
You four will compete in the right of succession, the outcome of which will decide who takes my place as Dawn Servant. I am not the man I once was. My wiser half sleeps the days away, and it is time I yield my position. But mine is a torch that has never been passed. Tuliyola is young, and so I look to the always for inspiration. The rite of succession, the means by which the autarch of Mamuk was chosen.
Well, we'll see.
Only the two-headed were deemed fit for this contest. But the Tuliyola I built is a nation of many peoples. Our leader needn't have two heads, nor be a Mamulcha at all. So I gave the right of claimant, not only to the son I sired, but to my adopted children as well. Yet the opportunity to rule was still not equal. That is why a recent tournament offered a place in the contest as the winning prize.
Now you have us to compete against. Though it seems the one-head was already too afraid to face us in the tournament.
Our brother was in Shock Tural leading the Landsguard on a campaign to eradicate a Tural Vidral. Anyone with sense would know he was too busy for games.
Right?
Now for the part you've been waiting to hear. The nature of the contest itself. To triumph in the right of succession, and thereby claim our nation's throne, you must travel the lands of Yogg-Tural.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, we need an excuse to go everywhere.
And find the city of...
It exists.
If I may, Father.
Speak, Gona.
The Golden City is an ancient Turali legend, but after so many failed attempts to find it, the story has become more fairy tale than fact. If you would charge us with such a quest, are we then to assume you have proof of the city's existence?
I offer us proof, my unbroken word. For I have seen it with my own four eyes.
The city's real. All those years.
This was before the founding of Tuliyola. I traveled the lands of Tural with my companions. And we ended our journey at the gates to the Golden City. I mean to have you do the same. But in order to achieve victory proper, you need to break the seal I put in place.
So then, yeah, it's probably what I thought then. It's probably Kryl who, her grandfather, was a part of his party, I bet. But I'm glad she hasn't said anything yet, because that gives her the upper hand, right? Like... I'm standing in them, right? Yeah, no? Oh, Oh, those are the little, like, history tablets, right? The ones that they showed already?
The Tuliyola saga.
You will retrace the path I walked to unite our peoples, step by step. Along the way, 7 chosen electors will be waiting.
Ah, that's what the electors are for. Got it.
Earn their keystones by performing the feats they ask of you. Once you've fitted each of the 7 tablets with the keystone, you'll have the key to unlock the seal on the Golden City's gates.
So the contest is in stages, none of which can be skipped by rushing to the ultimate objective.
Exactly. Exciting, isn't it?
Martial tournaments, hunting festivals, and now this? You do so love your contests, Papa.
Were I a few years younger, I would have joined in myself, giving you a proper challenge. You may think the ride is tedious or nonsensical, or both, but I am yielding our nation's throne. Let me have this final indulgence.
A waste of time. Just name Bakunja as successor and be done with it.
No.
The rite of succession begins now. I'll be watching your progress with great interest. And Clemens, remember to collect your tablets before you leave.
Kyle's just gonna go up and ask him.
You are one of Lamachi's allies. Speak freely.
I am Cryo Baldessian, representative of the students of Baldessian. My name is perhaps familiar to you?
Ah.
It would seem you sent this letter to my orders some years ago. The ink has since faded and much of the writing is illegible. Even so, we managed to determine the essence of it. A request to investigate the Golden City, addressed to my grandfather, Galuf. Included with the correspondence was this earring. A fairy tale and a piece of jewelry were enough to convince my grandfather to sail halfway across the world. So there is surely some greater mystery at work here. On behalf of the students, I've come to seek clarification on the matter. Have you any knowledge you might share with me?
No, not at this time. I have tasked the claimants with finding the Golden City. To fulfill your request would afford one of them an unfair advantage in the right of succession. But once the contest is decided, I plan to entrust the entire truth to my successor. If you want to hear it, Then you had best help Lamachi win.
Very well, Dawn Servant. On my honor as a student of Baldessian, I will find your golden city. Thank you for hearing my petition.
Let's go!
How about that? She's grown into a remarkable young woman. You should be proud, Galov.
I knew he knew him. Wow, Tobli's everywhere.
Too late to change your mind now, I suppose. But are you sure you wish to be part of this? Our third promise is not wont to take no for an answer. Though you may have agreed to help, I worry that you were swept up in a relentless enthusiasm. Or perhaps you've been lured by the glory of the Golden City. Either way, this contest for the throne will place you and yours at the heart of political turmoil. If you are second-guessing your decision, tell me now. This may be my last chance to help you withdraw.
Bro, we took a boat all the way here. No way.
Life is a series of journeys, my friend. And there's no telling what awaits us on the long road. But what's important is to be true to yourself as you walk it. Only then can we hope to be content when we arrive at the end of one and step forward into another.
I made my decision and I mean to see it through.
Is that so? I will speak no more of it then. As for my own involvement, I can no longer conduct myself as a mere guide, I think. Not after the Dawn Servant's revelation.
Here they come! It's Saralja! Such a fearsome mien. Make no mistake, there goes Tuliola's mightiest warrior.
First promise, our village needs aid. The cold weather stunts our crops, and the children of our village go hungry. Once you ascend the throne, I beg of you, grant my people new lands, please!
Saralja.
Take heart, tiller of the soil. The resilient son, blood heir to the Dawn Servant, has heard your pleas.
Saralja, the first promise and commander of the Landsguard. Saralja, the Palaceer. As he was so careful to remind the crowd, Saralja is indeed the natural child of Burul Jaja.
And Resilient Son, is that another title, like the first promise?
After a fashion. Common knowledge has it that two-headed Mamulja cannot sire children, yet Saralja was born all the same, with the head of Resolve's features and the head of Reason's scales. An extraordinary example of life's unyielding resilience.
And a warrior's reticence. He says little, but the way he moves... I know a hardened soldier when I see one.
He's a natural swordsman, a gift he inherited from his father. Some even say that the son has already surpassed the sire. Should he come to power, the first promise means to employ that martial prowess in the conquest of foreign lands. For this,
oh boy,
he and his supporters have been labeled expansionists.
Not good for come our
This
direction.
puts him in direct opposition to Wuklamat, who advocates for the preservation of peace.
Yeah.
You may recall that she spoke of a claimant who cannot be allowed to rule. That is Soralja, the warmonger.
Wow. Not the one I expected.
Cryle, are you alright?
The echo. It gave me a
Oh
glimpse
shit.
into Zoroni's
Oh shit.
aspirations.
Hydaelyn, why did you not show me? Show Cryle.
And unknowable, like an abyss. Yet at the same time, a roaring, unquenchable fire. It was a trifle terrifying, to be frank.
Totally.
Second promise, you must bring us more marvelous conveniences. More dirigibles and trains and the like. We need you in charge to make trading easier. The elders, they complain about abandoning tradition. But we're not like them, afraid of everything foreign and new. You have our wholehearted support. With your ingenuity and knowledge, you're sure to win the contest.
Forgive me, but the right of succession is barely begun. I will hear your petitions if and when I am named Dawn Servant. If you will excuse me.
Plain spoken, as always. That's Arcona. Practical to a fault.
Here we have Kona, the second promise, who spent time as a pupil at Sharlian's own studium.
Now that you mention it, I think I did see him in the halls once or twice. There was nothing to suggest he was Turali, much less from a royal family.
That was by design. He forwent his usual garb and took an Eorzean name to avoid attention.
So it was Kona who introduced the dirigibles. And the railway too, given what we just heard.
In furtherance of his goal, to enrich Tuliolal with every bright notion he learned of in Sharlian. He is the hope of those who prize innovation. As aloof as he may seem, Kona and Wuklamat actually get along rather well. They bicker and banter as only close siblings do.
Bigfoot.
How gracious of you all to cheer the lesser Glavans.
I shook in my head too.
Oh, come now. What are you afraid of? I'm no different from your Dawn servant. That my kind should reign is Mamulja tradition, and has been so since before there was a Tuliyola. I'll brush aside your feeble contenders, and then you'll see who deserves your fealty.
Well said, brother.
The Mamulja have finally found peace in Tuliolal. A pity those fanatics are intent on keeping that tradition alive.
The chosen of Mamuk, Bakul Jaja, winner of the recent martial tournament, and the only claimant not of the Dawn's promise. His strength is undeniable, but you see how he is.
A few devoted Mamulja are his only supporters.
What would he do with the throne should he win it?
His policies and so forth. I doubt he's thought much beyond winning the contest itself, but one thing seems certain. If he does become Dawn Servant, he will see the Mamulja exalted as the ruling class, and all others forced into subservience.
Sounds like another that cannot be allowed to rule.
We wish for one thing and one thing only, Third Promise. To abide together in harmony with our neighbors whom we love in this land we share. It is our way, the Turoli way.
Galul Jaja built for us this peaceful nation, and we beg you to preserve it.
You have my word. I won't let your pleas go unanswered.
Until Tuliyollal was founded some 80 years ago, this continent was ravaged by war. The eldest among us remember that dark era, and they are Wuklamat's most ardent supporters.
Apologies, it's hard to get away. This is Namika, my childhood nursemaid. She's been like a mother to me my whole life. I told her it wasn't necessary, but she insisted on seeing us off.
I place our precious Third Promise into your care.
Did you know Wuklamat was taking part in the rite of succession?
Of the Dawn's Promise? I thought it was only Zoralja and Kona. If she has any accomplishments to her name, I've yet to hear them.
Compared to the two Mamulja, she pales in martial prowess. And then there's Kona.
Oh my gosh,
they're
so mean.
The most educated of the bunch. I hate to say it, but it's hardly a competition.
It's fine. More than anyone, I understand how much better my brothers are than me.
Better? Wuklamat. I have never thought of you as the lesser sibling. Your brothers may excel in their respective ways, but you boast qualities that both lack. A strength that is yours alone. Having cared for you for so long, I should know.
Thank you, Namika. Well, we ought to be on our way.
Yes, hurry along. I await word of your victory with bated breath.
Cool.
Turali poets of yore sang of a mountain that would stand tall, even should all other lands sink beneath the sea. Indomitable and eternal, it arises from Urkopacha, the 100 peaks of time. Of all the beasts which crawl and fly, only the legendary Valigarmanda could hope to disturb the summit's serene majesty.
Wow.
Yet, with that flying calamity imprisoned by the Dawn Servant, what great feat remains for those who would claim the throne?
Ah, it's so cool.
So this is Urkopacha. I've never actually been here before.
The air is so crisp and clear.
Mountains everywhere you look.
That one massive peak in particular has quite the presence. It puts me in mind of Som-Al.
That is Workor Sormor, the tallest mountain in Yogg-Tural. Its sheer height makes it an imposing climb. But there are other reasons the ambitious keep their distance.
Oh? Do tell.
Where to begin?
Excuse me, but you're Wuk Lamat, are you not? I hadn't thought to encounter one of the Dawn's promise here of all places. But I should introduce myself. I am Bolnok, a weaver by trade.
Well met, Bolnok. We're on our way to Watte.
Truly, I've just come from there, as it happens. I'd asked the Pelu who sell me their wool to give me a tour of their alpaca ranch. The head rancher and I shared a bottle of mezcal while he explained the finer points of wool production.
Mezcal? Is that a local beverage?
It's an Urkopacha specialty. A spirit made from distilled agave heart juice.
Yes, and it must have done wonders for my mood, for I tripled my usual order of alpaca wool. They did offer me a discount, though, so it wasn't a bad deal in the end. But listen to me, boring you with my tedious stories. I will leave you before you are lulled to sleep. Goodbye, and safe travels.
No, you're our NPC friend. Come back.
Oh, silly me. I almost forgot to say the thing I actually wanted to say. Peace for Tural. I agree with your vision, Third Promise. You have my support in your bid for the throne.
I gather from his tale we would be foolish to underestimate Pelu merchants.
Yes, they do more than run the markets in Tuliyollal. Pelu peddlers can be found everywhere in Tural, traveling from place to place on their sturdy alpacas. They are effusive and engaging speakers, and many's the customer who's been talked into spending more than they bargained for.
They won't find this customer so easily charmed.
Watte Pelo's down the path! Off the main road! Don't get lost!
It's right there!
And then we end up like getting completely lost.